So the idea was to establish a 3-week trip to a Latin American country that would combine formal language study with cultural immersion in the form of homestays with local families, and also the element of community service learning, which speaks to our mission of responsible citizenship. And out of that was born the idea of the Junior Journey.
I'm angry! Oh, I'm angry! Yo estoy triste. Yo estoy enojado.
So the inaugural Junior Journey occurred from May the 10th through May 30th of 2008. 18 members of the class of 2009 participated in the trip. So every student who applied was allowed the opportunity to participate. And it's our hope that that same opportunity will be available to all subsequent classes of juniors.
A normal day in Antigua involved some time in which students were with their host families, some time in which they were at the Sevilla language school studying Spanish with their teacher, some time in which they were teaching English at the little elementary school in San Pedro. Some time when we were together as a whole group, talking, writing, reflecting on our experience, and some time in which students had discretion over their own free time to explore Antigua.
Like we would wake up like on the weekdays and we'd go to school at like 7 and stay there till 12.
And that was, at first, it was kind of nerve-wracking because my Spanish wasn't that great and I had to speak to somebody that spoke Spanish fluently.
But then like we'd have a break in the middle, which was really cool because we got like to go out and with our teachers and like look at the city and just like speak Spanish and learn new things.
The purpose of the excursions outside of Antigua was, I guess it depended on the excursion, but I guess the purpose of some of them was just to see beautiful places in the world that most of us wouldn't have ever had the chance to see or experience. Sometimes the purpose of those trips was to learn something particular about Guatemalan culture.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? That's crazy! Well,
it was just awesome, and then like we were like roasting marshmallows and taking pictures, and that view was like absolutely breathtaking. Like I was just like, okay, I could stay here for a while. That was definitely worth the climb.
I think the purpose of the community service, the teaching in the school in San Pedro, was what we always want community service experiences to be, but which they so rarely are, because it was something that was more than just one day. It wasn't just like you show up one day and leave. It was something that was over so much time that people had to commit to it, and they had to invest in the relationships with the kids and with their partner teacher, and they had to work hard at something that was really challenging and sometimes not fun, but they just had to stick with it. And over time, then what we saw, and I think what most of the students saw, is that they realized how valuable that was. They realized that the little kids that they were teaching were so happy and loved when we came, and were so eager to see us there and have us there and play with us and show us their notebooks and read books in recess after the class. And I think that the PHA students started to appreciate that experience of when you work really hard at something that is really hard, that it's worth it.
Blackberry con B. Blackberry. Blackberry.
My personal growth project was to donate clothes to the people of Guatemala. If they're living in poverty, clothes are probably not something that they buy every day. So why not take some of the clothes that I have, that people have, that are perfectly fine, but are just gonna get thrown out to people that really do need them?
I would say one thing that touched me the most and that I remember the most was walking with our kids to their houses after we gave them their clothes. And only because I've really never been in an area like that before. And really because that's how my family grew up when they were young. And knowing that kids have to go to these houses where if a storm would come by, the houses would be done. You know, the houses would be swept away, and it stinks to know that, and knowing that you can't really do anything, but they're living in, what, 10 family members maybe? And there's other families in there too that you barely know.
And I think that we were successful. I think that the families appreciated it and were happy to see us there, and where we could tell them we knew their children.
I think that the trip was unconditionally a success. And the why, the answer to that question really resides in each individual person who attended. In my conversations with students who have returned from the trip and also studying the blog and reading the reflections of the students, it's very clear to me that the people who came back on May 30th were different than the people who left on May the 10th. I know that the 18 junior journeyers who experienced this opportunity last spring are transformed as a result of their experience in Guatemala. They have more appreciation for their own existence here in the United States. They came to appreciate that you can be happy with a lot less than what they even have here.
I think the kind of learning that happened is the kind of learning that, you know, won't go away after the exam. You know, you're not going to forget that stuff after the exam. That's the kind of learning that lives with people for a long time. I think that we made a proud name for PHA in that community. The last day of school, when we were with the little kids in San Pedro, I think a lot of us knew that they enjoyed having us there, but I don't think any of us really understood how much our presence there meant to them until seeing all these little kids just in tears on the last day when we were leaving. That took me by surprise, the extent to which they really enjoyed us and the connections that we had made.
So what is unique about the junior journey? First and foremost, it is a rigorous and challenging experience for our students. It's one thing to study Spanish in the academic setting for a long time. It's a whole other thing to go into a country where few, if any, people speak English, and to be immersed in the culture and to have to use Spanish. So another aspect of this experience that is dramatically unique is that we keep the cost at a very minimum so that every student, regardless of means, can participate. You know, one of my great hopes is not only that we graduate learned scholars who are ready to go off to college and achieve academic success, but also people who are going to be active citizens in a democratic society.
We didn't end up being the same person that we were going to Guatemala. For me personally, I was one of the students who didn't want to go at first. And I was pushed, getting phone calls at 7:30 in the morning by Miss Murray. Eddie, this is gonna change your life. You're gonna go to this trip. My brother Dennis, you're gonna go to this trip whether you like it or not, man. This is paid for. This is gonna change your life. This is gonna help you so much in the future. It's gonna open your eyes and make you realize so much things. And were they right? They were 110% correct. We think life is hard here. Life is so much easier here. There, it's a different world. There, it's different. And like before, like I said, like it impacted me more because I am Guatemalan. My family lived like that. Whether it was my mother's side, my father's side, my great-grandparents, doesn't matter. That's how they lived, and that's how Guatemala, the Guatemalans will continue to live for a long time. I realized who I am, and my eyes have opened, and this makes me want to work with kids. This makes me want to be like an older brother to kids. This makes me want to be a greater person and give back to the world, you know? Like, why do kids 5 years old, 8 years old have to live the lives they live? You know, if I could change their lives, I wish I could. And did I change their lives? I hope I did. I hope I did.